right, start us off today. Jake, Luca, Bart with Tobin and Bops on defense, and Aydan Montanet. All right, looks like we're all set. Pucks down, back over. Bobcats send it into the zone. Picked back up by Bobs. Try to send it back around. Bobs. Send it back over to Jake. Jake can't get it off his stick. Center pass back over to Luca. Luca gets it outside the zone. Bobcats rotate out. Send it over to the opposite side across the blue line. Try to game the zone. Send it over to the opposite corner. Aydan with a nice save. Back over to Tobin. Tobin back out to Luca. Luca clears it out in the zone. Got a leak ahead. Goaltender comes out. Sends it up into the neutral zone. Pick back up. Cycle it over to the opposite side. Bobcats rotate out. Back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it up the ice as Team Philly rotates out. And Bobcats are getting called for too many men. So penalty coming up on the Bobcats at the 6:11 mark. So Team Philly will have a power play opportunity. So Doc, Kobe, Nichols, Bart, Lucas to start out. Ready to get the penalty up on the scoreboard. All right, all set now. Pucks down, back out to Nichols. Nichols cycles it back over to Lucas. Lucas could not keep it in the zone. Cycles it back over to Aydan. Lucas back over to Nichols. Cycle it back up to Lucas. Lucas back out to Doc. Doc attacks the zone, holds up, looks for it, sends to the opposite side, picked up by Lucas. Back out to Nichols. Shot attempt, back out. Nichols tried a one-timer, came off the stick wrong. Picked back up. Picked up by Lucas, full steam ahead. Thought about passing, chooses not to. Turns back. Cycles it back over to Bart. Bart sends it back out to Nichols at the point. Shot attempt goes just wide. Back out to Doc. Over to Lucas. Cycles it back over to Nichols. Nichols tries to get it over to Kobe. Kobe couldn't pick it up. Bart into Lucas, gloves it down. Picked back up by Doc. 49 seconds left in the power play. Pass attempt. Doc turns the corner. Philly rotates the line out. Fisher back on the ice. Weaves around behind the defender. Tries to get through. Looking in the slot. Sent it back out to the point. Back out to Cusa. Cusa dumps it back in. 18 seconds left on Team Philadelphia's power play. Cycle it back over to Bops. Bops looking. Ups it back out and escapes the zone. Ricky couldn't keep it in. Back out to Cusa. Dumps it back in. Back over into the slot. Fisher tried to come. And penalty is over. No shot attempt. Back out to Cusa, drops it back over to Ricky. Ricky splits a couple defenders, comes across, gets a shot attempt off. .56, first period, 0-0. Fisher, Cusa, Nichols. Touchdown. Bobcats looking to control, get it back behind the net, send it up the wall. it back over. Jumps into the neutral zone. Bobcats overrun the puck. Lang sends it up over the opposite side. Back over to Fisher. Nichols. Try to send it up ice. Back over to Lang. Lang. Pressure onto the puck. Bobcats send it back out to the point. Opposite side. Center pass. Turn. Shot goes wide. Picked up by Fisher. Fisher. No icing. Sent all the way back. 3:10. 13:10 left first period. Bobcats send up into the neutral zone. Opposite side. No icing. Tap forward. Aydan. Cycles it back out to the zone. Kobe releases it. Bobcats gather. Opposite side. Send it forward. Picked back up by Lang. Lucas sends it across the board. Try to pick it back up. Gets it out. Delayed offsides. Arizona has to clear. Team Philly recycles back up to Lang. Just misses Doherty. No icing call. Back over to Kobe. Kobe looking. Back out to the point. Lang takes a shot. Goes redirected. Goes wide. Lucas picks it clean. Back out to Doc. Try to cycle it back over to Lucas. Unable to do so. Kept in the zone by Bops. Bops tried to get a shot attempt off. Whips on the puck. Opposite side pass to Doherty. Couldn't control the puck. Lucas knocks it down with his skate. Does the same thing again. Lucas tried to dump it in. Good job by Tobin to knock it clean. Bobcats. Pressure. Back over to Tobin. Tobin runs the puck. Bops cycles it back over. Send it back into the neutral zone. Bobcats gather. Send it back. Whip on the puck. Jake tried to keep it in. Picked up by Luca. Bobcats swing it into the zone. Bops back over the opposite side, over to Tobin. Tobin clears into the neutral zone. Good stick by Bart. Jake putting pressure onto it. Set all the way back. Now it'll be an icing call. Puck's down. Ricky kicks it forward. Bart backhand, tries to keep it in the zone. Bobcats send it into the neutral zone, send it deep. Goes all the way to the back wall. Ricky, some back check pressure. Bobcats back out to the point. Shot attempt goes wide. And that's a deflection into the back netting. Puck's down. Back over. Lang sent it forward to the opposite side. Ricky back over in pursuit. Cusets between his legs. Bobcats send it down. Ricky's there. Try to cycle it back up. Center pass picked up by Fisher. Cusa takes it from him. Tries to pull it back between his legs. Back over to Fisher. Opposite side over to Nichols. Nichols couldn't control it. Tried to send it on net. Hits Fisher coming across the crease. Back over to Nichols. Nichols turns and fires. Bobcat sent it in. Knocked down by Nichols. Back over. Tried to dribble through. Now picked up by Fisher. Fisher turns and fires. Goes off a defender's stick. Ricky turns. Bobcats. Cusa picks it up, lost it. Ricky on the back check. And Aydan with a nice save. So 9:31 left in the first period, 0-0. Lucas, Doc, Kobe. Pucks down, back over. Thies try to pull it forward. Still floating around the boards. Bobcats send it opposite side. Picked up by Lucas. Lucas gathers it. Thought about passing. Moves up. Gets a shot off from just inside the blue line with the goaltender. Puts a glove on it. Doc back behind, put pressure on the puck. Bobcats gather, send it high up into the air, back along the boards. Bobs over to put pressure onto it. Kobe's back over to help out. Bobcats break free of that. He took an odd bounce and caught the pole. So 8:53. We're going to pull it outside the zone into a neutral zone faceoff. Pucks down, back over to Thies. Sends it deep. And then that'll be an icing call. Back along the boards, Thies couldn't control it. Back behind his feet, Doc taps it over to Lucas. Lucas shuffles it back over to Kobe. Kobe tried to get around a man. Centering pass, Lucas tapped it and hit a defender's leg. Tried with it. Bobcats come all the way back to the opposite side. Line change picked back up by Bops. Bops tried a long pass, is picked up. Kobe. Aydan with a nice glove save. Pucks down, back over to Tobin. Tobin sends it up the board, cycle back. Now Tobin picks it back up after the puck comes back to him. Cycle back over to Ricky. Ricky picked up by Barthel. Barthel sends it deep. Goaltender guides it over to the corner. Heston with some token pressure. Back out to the neutral zone. Tobin sends it deep. Zone cleared. Bobcats rotate around. Tap forward. Tobin gets it into the neutral zone. Bobcats quickly turn them back around. Shot goes wide. They call an icing call on that one. Fisher on the faceoff. Tobin takes a swipe at it, picked up by Nichols. Nichols sends it out to the neutral zone. Fisher charges forward, waits. lucky, some defensive pressure. Nice save by Aydan after a redirect by the Bobcats. Flexor moves the defender off the puck, pulls it back over to Tobin. Tobin takes a shot from center ice. Goaltender bumps it out to the corner, picked up by Cusa. Cusa centers it back over to Fisher. Fisher gets taken off the puck. Bobcats send it upside the opposite board. Rotate out. Comes across the blue line. Cycles it back opposite side, picked up by Tobin. Tobin pushes it forward back over to Lucas. Lucas across the blue line. Gets a shot attempt off. Comes all the way back out into the neutral zone. Picks up. Picked up into the slot. Lucas tried to dump it in. Bobcats dump it down. Back over. That should be an icing call. And it is. .43 first period, 0-0. Doc, Kobe, Lucas, Richard, Kevin. Back out to Doc. Doc opposite side over to Lang. Lang gets a shot attempt off. Pop back up. And goaltender saw that through traffic. Bobcats cycle back up the side. Lang's there to try to pick it off. Loses the puck. Peace gathers it. Clears it back up to the neutral zone. Picked up by Colin. Colin opposite side over to Kobe. Kobe. Back over to Colin. Colin. Oh my gosh. Had an opportunity. Got his good defensive stick. On the face-off. Puck's down, back over to Thies. Thies jumps it down into the corner. Bobcats cycled around opposite side. Kobe with a nice check. Back out to the point. Lang tried to send it on net. Picked off by Bobcat. Comes across the blue line, now the red line. Send it over to the opposite corner. Lucas gathers it away from Doc into Doc's hands. Now picked back up. Over to Kobe. Kobe gets a shot on net. Goaltender knocks it down. Shuffles it back out to the corner. Lucas pressure onto the puck. Bobcats send it out to the neutral zone. One-on-one with Aydan. Shot attempt goes high over Aydan's head. Back over to Luca. Luca looking. Shuffles. That's going to be an icing call. .20 left first period, 0-0. Bobcats send it back out to the point, try to send it on net, gets knocked back down. And shot attempt off the defensive stick into the back webbing. Bobcats pick it up right into the slot and get a rifle shot. I'm sure Aydan was probably blocked on it, so Bobcats get on the board first at the 4:08 mark. On the face-off, Luca back over to help. Bobcats gather, opposite side. Bob's over to pick it up. Backhand. Aydan guides it to the neutral zone. Fighting below. Now it's back into the neutral zone. Bobcats gather, send it forward. Backhand attempt. Bobcats pick it up. Tobin, try to clear it back up. Still can't get to it. Heston gathers it. Back over to Nichols. Nichols. Bob sends it to the opposite side. Back over to Tobin. Tobin. Got an opportunity. Nichols puts a shot attempt off. Right into the breadbasket of the goaltender. Nichols. Bobcats pick it up. Back out to Ricky. Ricky sends it in the zone. Got to clear the zone. They do clear. Bobcats tap it into the zone. Lang try to clear it. Picked back up by Cusa. Cusa. Fisher trying to get to it. Knocks it down. Back along the boards. Cusa. Cycles it back over to Fisher. Fisher tried to tap it back over to Cusa. Is not able to do so. Ricky. Good defensive stick. Cycled back out in front. Lang gets it into the neutral zone. 2:23, first period. 1-0 Bobcats. Cycled back. Feed right up the center. Bobcats couldn't handle it. Picked up by Lang. Lang back over to Nichols. Pucks down, back over to Dockery. Dockery cycles back over to Lucas. Lucas try to pull it through. Bobcats over to the opposite side. Send it all the way back up. Bat down, back over to Thies. Thies just outside of his reach. Puck is in the groove. Stop, try to cycle it back into the center ice. Now it's picked up by Bobs. Bobs sends it back up the boards. Aydan with the knockdown and gathers it. .124 left. First period. Lucas Kobe, Doc. Pucks down. Shot attempt goes off of Kobe's. Aydan with a couple nice saves. Knockback. Lucas knocks it down. 1-on-1 with the goaltender who's going in. Takes a shot low side. Blocker. Gets knocked back. Ricky. Aydan with a nice save. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a penalty coming up on Ricky. Cross check. So 53-second mark. Team Philly will be down a man for at least 53 seconds of this period. Bart, Luca, Bobs, Tobin out to kill this penalty. Bobcats Send it over to the opposite side. Back center. Goes off of Lucas' boot. Back out to the wing. Nice save by Aydan. So net came off, but they count it. So 2-0 Bobcats. Wolf arguing the point. 30 seconds left. Nichols, Fisher, Cusa. Puck's down, sent back out into the neutral zone. Back over to Cusa. Cusa try to clear it. Lang, good defensive stop. Back out, center pass, out to the point. 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. And that ends the period. So Team Philadelphia down 2-0 at the end of one. Period. 2-0 Bobcats. Lucas, Colin, Kobe, Richard, and Bobs. Puck's down, back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it deep. Back behind the net, right there. Oh my gosh, puck came out. That was a trip, too. Jump back into the neutral zone. Bobcats send it deep. Bobcat player down. Puck's back. Kobe tried to take a whiff shot at it. Whipped on the puck. Back over to Thies. Thies dumps it in. Zone cleared. Picked up by the Bobcats. Dumps it in. Sent back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it in. Opposite side. Goaltender knocks it down. Colin on the forecheck. Back over. Picks up by Lucas on the wing. Cycle back over to Colin. Colin can't control it. Bobcats break out. Send along, opposite side. Jumps in, goaltender knocks it down and gloves it. Fisher, Cusa, Nichols, Bobs, Thies. Fisher, opposite side, over to Cusa. Oh, almost had an opportunity. Picked back up by Cusa. Cusa back out to the point. Thies gets a shot attempt off and goes off a defender's stick into the back rafters. Fisher tried to push through. Gathered by the Bobcats. Knocked down by Cusa, back over. Tried to pick it up other side to Fisher, couldn't get it through.
2-1 Bob, 38 to go in the second period.
Sorry, folks at home, something went wrong with my phone. Ricky Wright turns and gets a score for Team Philadelphia to make it 2-1 at the 13:37 mark of the second period. Bobcats send it up to neutral zone. Peace sends it back out. Pick back up in the opposite side over to Lang. Lang send it down. So an icing call. The 13:18 mark. As I get this back up to speed, sorry. Puck is down. Picked up by Lang. Lang tries to send out of the zone. Bobcats pick it up. Back out to Lang again. Knocked back over to Nichols. Nichols sides it back over to Fisher. Fisher opposite side over to Cusa. Cusa turned and tried to fire. Back out to the point. Opposite side over to Lang. Lang dumps it down. Fisher presses into the corner. Back out to Lang at the point. Oh, Puck's right there. Oh my gosh, like 3 or 4 opportunities. Back out to Cusa. Cusa drops it over to Nichols. Nichols centering pass right there to Cusa. Cusa gets a shot attempt off. A lot of action. Good tap by Lang. Lang dumps it in. Sent it over to the opposite side. And that'll be an icing call. Good action by Team Philadelphia. Just could not capitalize. So 12:13 left in the second period. 2-1 Bobcats. Puck's down, picked back by Lucas. Doherty in the slot. Oh, redirect by Lucas. Almost gets by the goaltender. Picked back up by Bobs. Bobs back over. Centering pass over to Doherty. Doherty toe drags around. Tries to get it over to the opposite side. Pulled back Doc in a foot race. Good stick. Back out to Lucas. Lucas. Opposite side over to Doherty. Doherty scores! Hits Lucas on the opposite side for the slow roll. Evens this game up. Team Philly battling back. It's a lot of action at the 11:45 mark. Ricky Wright on the first goal, Lucas on the second one after a nice feed from Colin. Nichols, Fisher, Cusa. Tried to get pulled through, back over to Nichols. Nichols tried to dump it in, still in the neutral zone. Fisher dumps it back, Lang opposite side, back over. Ricky charging forward. Gets a shot attempt off Fisher. Ideal shot from Ricky to hit the opposite side pad, dribbles out to the opposite side for Fisher to get a second shot attempt. Puck's down, back out to the point with Lang. Lang sent it deep. Picked up by Nichols, nobody in the slot. Nichols charging. Back over to Lang. Lang, backhand, gets all the way to the back wall. Picked up at the point by Ricky. Ricky tries to send it on net. Hits a defender. Lang intercepts it. Opposite side, over to Cusa. Oh my gosh. Beautiful feed into Cusick. Cusick just couldn't convert. Bard on the ice. Bobcats win it to the back wall. Send it back up into the neutral zone. Picked up by Ricky. Referee gets in the way. Ricky does a good job of guiding it back into the zone. Looks like it could have been an offside. Lang tried a center pass. Back out to Luca. Luca over to Lang. Lang opposite side over to Ricky. Ricky kind of tossed it to the back wall. Lang picks it up. Back over to Luca. Luca gets a shot attempt off. Bart, good pressure onto the puck. Bobcats send it over to the opposite side. Bobcats send it all the way to the back wall, picked up by Lang. Lang knocked down by Luca. Luca, opposite side, picked up by Jake. Jake gets a shot attempt off, and the goaltender cradles it, holds it in. Puck's down. Lucas trying to send it back. Doc's back over. No penalty coming up on the Bobcats for a high stick. So at the 9:39 mark, Team Philadelphia will be on a power play. So Team Philly, power play opportunity. Bard on the faceoff, send it back out. Back over to Nichols. Nichols, back over to Doc. Lucas takes a shot, goes high and above the goaltender's head, back over to Nichols. Shuffles it back over to Lucas. Lucas, back over to Nichols. Back over to Lucas. Lucas, opposite side, back over to Doc, just outside of his reach. Shuffles it in all the way to the back wall. Goaltender thought about it, comes back out. Kobe's there. Back out to Nichols. Cycles it back over to Kobe. Lucas jumps his stick. Bart knocks it down. Lucas is back over. Sent it back out to the point to Nichols. Kick save by the goaltender. Almost makes it all the way up here to me. Picked back up by Nichols. Arizona changes. Kobe tries to send it the opposite side, makes it all the way down the ice. Aydan. Aydan tries to pick it clean. Now it comes out in the neutral zone. Kobe picks it up. Over to Fisher. Fisher. Try to set something up. Doc loses it. .33 seconds left on the power play for Team Philadelphia. Back over to Fisher. Fisher. Back out to Cusick. Cusick. Dumps it all the way in. Back around. Goaltender knocks it back down. Sends it up the board. Picked up by Ricky. Ricky dumps it over to Jake. Jake back out to the point to Cusick. Takes a shot attempt. Ricochets off. All the way down. 7 seconds left. That'll kill the penalty. Power play off. Ricky looking up. Dumped all the way into the zone. Goaltender guides it over. Fisher. That's not going to make it all the way back. Back over to Bob's. .11 left. Sent back. Center pass right into neutral zone. Bobcats pick it up. Got a shot attempt off. Bops gets the shin guard on that. Back over to Lucas. Lucas tries to drop it up. Over to Fisher. Knocked away before he could get there. It should be an icing call. And it is. .6:43 left second period, 2-2. The referee's asking 51 to get off because he might not have a neck guard on. Puck's down, back out. Bobcats get it, send it to neutral zone. Tobin dumps it in. Goaltender gloves it, holds it up. Knocked down at center ice. Lucas knocks it forward, back over to Doc. Doc taps it forward, back over to Lucas. Look. Referee just shaking his head as in no. Referee's not being very kind right now. Lucas gathers it. Opposite side over to Doc. Doc, across the blue line. That looked like an offside by Team Philly. Kobe sends it over to behind the net. Doc putting pressure onto the puck. Kobe tries to help. Puck's picked up at the blue line. Kobe and a foot race. Comes off the ice. Lucas back over. It's got an opportunity. Nice shot by Jake. Luca back, putting pressure onto the puck. Back out to the point. Oh my gosh. Bart was right there. Just tipped away from him. Sent deep all the way to the back wall. Tobin back over to pick it up. Picked up by Jake. Jake. Sent back out to the point by Bobcats. Picked off before it gets to Aydan by Luca. Luca dumps it all the way back in. Goaltender guides it over. Ooh, my gosh, he almost missed that puck. Picked down by Lang. Lang turns. Bart gathers it. Opposite side picked up by Tobin. Tobin tries to send it long. Nichols out on the ice. Back over to Cusa. Cusa back in, pivots forward. Knocked down by Fisher. Good stick. Good pressure. Bobcats knock it to the back wall. Aydan knocks it down, picked up by Bob's. Line change for the Bobcats. Cusa throws it first. Sent up the opposite wall. Thies comes off the post, tries to get to it. Bobcats gather into the corner, shuffle it back behind the net. 3:44 left, second period. Bobs is back. Bobs, good stick. That looked like a penalty. There's a penalty coming up on the Bobcats after there's a cross-check, I believe, interference. Looked like a cross-check, we'll call it interference. 3:26, Bobcats will be down a player. So Team Philly 2-minute power play opportunity. at the 3:26 mark of the second period. Pucks down, back into the corner. Lucas back over. Nichols holds it in the zone. Try to take a shot, goes off a defender's stick. Turns. Sends it around the opposite side. Goaltender knocks it down. Try to get it upside the boards, and does. Goes off of a Team Philly stick on the bench, I believe. Or actually, it's going to be outside. A minute and 40 left on the power play. Puck's down, one back, picked up by Lucas. Lucas waits, turns, shuffles back to nobody. Kobe picks it up, back over to Bart. Bart comes 3-on-2 opportunity. Opposite side to Doc. Puck is out. Lucas gathers it back over to Doc. Lucas hits it forward. Opportunity for Kobe right in the slot. Takes a shot attempt. Picked up all the way to the back wall by Aydan. All the way back over to Kobe. Kobe. Try to cross-ice pass. Shake out onto the ice with Doc. Sent all the way back to the back wall. Sent back up to Fisher. Fisher across the blue line. Fisher turns, waits, holds up, back out to the point to Ricky. Nice redirect, picked up by Fisher. Back out to the point to Ricky again. Shot attempt, 25 seconds left on Team Philly's power play. Bops, no penalty. Aydan comes way out of net. Shot forward, jump back over to Cusa. Cusa takes a shot attempt. Just scored! Takes a swipe at it. Holy cow. Who was that? I believe that was Bops. So Bops gets the goal at the 1:30 mark to make this a 3-2 Team Philly lead. With 3 seconds remaining on the power play. So 1:30 left in the second period. Team Philly up, puts 3 on the board so far in the second period. Make this 3-2. Back over to Tobin. Tobin sends it back in the neutral zone. Sent back over to the opposite side. Doherty on a forecheck. Doherty tried to pick it clean. Back, sent it up. Lucas picks it up. Back out to Kobe. Lang knocks it down. 2-on-1 opportunity for the Bobcats. Aydan with a nice blocker side save. Gets it to the corner wall. Centers it back up. Slap shot attempt goes off of Team Philly. Kick back. Cycle back over to Lucas. Lucas with a toe drag that didn't work. All the way back up. That's an icing call. Puck down. Doc Hughes charges forward, try to get a shot attempt off 40 seconds left in the period. And that'll be an icing call. Back to the back corner. Fisher with the stick lift. Bobcats try to clear it. Sent over to the opposite side. Knocked back down. And Bobcats ring one up. Opposite side corner as a feed it to ringer coming down the opposite side. So at the 13-second mark, it's evened up. Fisher, Cusa, Barthel. Pucks down. Sent back all the way to Deese. Back into the neutral zone. Back on to Cusa. Try to take a shot at some. And that is the end of the second. So Team Philly hangs 3 unanswered, and then Bobcats get a late period goal. Bobcats come away with it. Send it all the way to the back wall. Lang pops it back over to Doc. Doc tried to clear it. That's an offsides. Puck's down. Bobcats came away with it. Still along the back wall. Doc from his knees gets it into the zone. Lang cycles it back over to Doc. Lifts the stick, delayed offside. Picked up by the Bobcats. Aydan with a nice glove save. All the way to the back wall. Tobin back over. Fisher over to help him out. Bobcats gather. Bobcats send it out to the point. Opposite side. And Aydan with a save. Pucks over to Tobin. Tobin opposite side over to Nichols. Nichols sends it deep. No icing. Goaltender comes out. Sent back out. Opposite side. Center ice. Bobcats. Back over to Bobs. Bobs backhand. Try to clear it up. Bobcats back behind the net. Pick it up, send it out to the point. Knocked down to the back wall. Try to clear. Fisher trying to put pressure onto the puck. Aydan with a nice save. Lucky bounce. Aydan steers it back over to the corner. Picked back up by Nichols. Nichols gets it out. Cusa in a foot race. Back into the neutral zone. Luca knocks it forward. Now it's back over to Ricky. Ricky gathers it back. Back over to Jake. Back over to Bart. Bart onto the ice. Lang on the back check. Nice save by Aydan. And it's out of the zone. And that'll be an offsides. Puck's down. Bobcats gather it. Try to send it forward. Luka knocks it forward. Jake has an opportunity. Couldn't gather it. Goaltender knocks it back to the opposite wall. Bart sends it deep, delayed offsides as Jake has to regroup. Sent all the way up. That'll be an icing call. .34 left in the game, tied up. Lucas on the face-off over to Colin. Colin gets a shot attempt off. Oh my gosh, an opportunity. Bobcats come down, try to pick it up, send it deep all the way around to the opposite side. Ricky back over. Bobcats gather it. Back to the back wall. Lucas tried to hit it down. Doherty's back over with him. Try to clear the zone, and it does. Doherty back over to put pressure onto the puck. Cycle it back up. Hits the referee. Lucas sends it over to the opposite side. Doc was trying to clear the zone. Back over to Ricky. Ricky over to Thies. Back to Lucas. Lucas gets a shot off. The goalie steers it to the corner. Try to clear the zone. Picked up by Bops at the point. Back out to Doc. Doc tried to get it. Bops tried to get a shot off. Sent deep. Bobcats change lines. Goes off the defender's skate. Picked back up by Kobe. Kobe overruns it. Lucas taps it forward. Line change for Team Philadelphia. Fisher, pressure onto the puck. .46. Fisher, Cusa, Nichols. Back out to Tobin. Tobin taps it forward. Bobcats send it back. Picked back up by Thies. Back over to Fisher. Fisher try to gently nudge one between the defender's legs. Tobin, good job fighting through the check. Picked up by Thies as he comes across the blue line. Oh my gosh, beautiful shot. Goaltender kind of didn't see it. Back out to the point. Bops is there. Swipes at it. Cusa fighting for the puck. Bobcats rotate around the opposite side. Bops comes off blue line. Gets it. Sends it back out to the point to Fisher. Fisher opposite side back over to Thies. Thies dumps it in. Tobin fights for it. Cusa send it back. That'll be an icing call. So 10:40 left in this game, 3-3. Puck's down against the back wall. Lucas is back over, putting pressure onto the puck, tries to tap it forward. Lucas removes the defender off the puck, picks it back up. Cycles it back out to Lang. Lang looks at Ricky. Dumps it in. Knocked down by Bart. Ricky hits Doc sitting along the wall. And catches Aydan in the beak. The strap comes off. Puck's down, made out to the point. Shot attempt, Aydan just dodges it. Picked up by Ricky. Ricky tries to send it upside the board. Bobcats knock it down. Centering pass goes off of Team Philly's boot. Send it back opposite side. And Aydan reaches down and grabs it. All the way back out to the point, Bobcats. And Aydan gloves it down again. Sent deep back into the corner. Picked up Lucas backhand, now makes it out to the neutral zone. Bart packing it back over to Lucas, has to wait for Bart to clear the zone. Sends it over to the opposite corner, thought Doc was going there. Lang and Ricky back. Ricky. Turnover back into the slot. Bobcats turn and fire. Good stick picked up by Bart. That won't make it all the way down, no icing call. That's back into the neutral zone. Good job by Tobin. Heston overruns the puck. Now it's picked up by Thies. Heston drops it forward. Luca on the forecheck. Luca gets it on his stick. Try to get a shot off. Gets hooked. Tobin fighting for the puck. Good job. Tobin gathers it. Gets a shot attempt off. Puck is out front. And they're calling a hand pass. Not sure who the hand pass is on. So they'll come out of the zone. .8:18 left in the third period. Tie score, 3-3. Pick back up, Tobin drops it in. Luca tried to keep it in the zone. Now it's back in the neutral zone. Thies taps it forward. Bops tried to keep it in the zone. Dumps it over to the opposite side. Aydan gathers it as it goes off the back wall and creeps into his glove. 7:40. 3-3. Cusa, Fisher, Kobe, Lang, and Ricky. Puck's down. Bobcats gather it, back out to the point. Knocks it back down. Cusa cycles it back over to Kobe. Kobe in a foot race. Got a big guy coming after him. Bobcats cross the blue line. Fisher, pressure onto the puck. Gets him all the way to the back wall. Lang picks it up. Lang tried to get it off his stick. Cusa's back over, tried to lift the stick, unable to do so.
Brzezinski from Polanco. 4-3 Bobcats, 5:40 to go in the third.
Sorry, folks at home, again, having some really bad technical difficulties. Bobcats just scored to make it 4-3 with 5:40 left. Pop sends it up into the neutral zone. Tobin sends it deep. Goaltender. Knocks it down. Bobcats pick it up. Sent back opposite side. Picked up by Bobs. Bobs across the blue line. Gets a shot attempt off. Back out to Kobe. Kobe looking. Jumps Jake's stick. Knocked back out into the neutral zone. All the way back, no ice. Picked up by Bobs. No ice. Back out to the opposite side. Comes out to the neutral zone. Ricky charged forward. Kobe knocks it into the neutral zone. Fisher. send it deep. Swipe back out to the side. Shot attempt goes wide, back over to the opposite corner. Lang over to fight for it. Picked by Kobe. Cusa drops it in. Back over to Fisher. Fisher in a foot race. Picked up by Kobe. Gets a shot attempt off. Two shot attempts. Sorry, folks, again at home. My app and phone just died. .337 left in the game. 4-3 Bobcats. Bobcats send it out. Lose an edge, send it back out. Dump it all the way back in. Barthol on the back check. Send back out to the point. And Aydan with a nice save. Bart, Doc, Lucas. Back over. Bob sends it long. That was a hand pass. That was a hand pass. .312 left in this game. Back over to Bob, sends it deep. Bobcats got her. Try to get out in the zone. Lucas gets tattooed into the boards. Picked back up by Doc. Doc with a nice shot attempt. Lucas sends it deep, knocked down by the Bobcats. 2:53 left in the game. Cycle back, picked up by Lucas. Try to send it back into the slot. Picked back up by Bobs. Bobs charges blue line, drops it in, opposite side, all the way back out of the zone. Lucas back over to Bobs. Bobs. Backhand to the back wall. Tried to hit Doc in the slot just behind him. Could have been a head contact by Bobs. Back over to Fisher. Fisher overruns the puck. Cusa, pressure on. Oh, bad turnover by Lang. Good pickup by Ricky. Fisher sends it back. Cusa all the way to the back wall. Fisher picks it up. Bobcats gather. Dump it in. 1:36 left in the game. Lang. Fisher. Oh my gosh, it was right there. Played offsides, cleared the zone. 1:13 left in the game. Team Philly looking to pull Aydan here in a minute. Can't quite yet. 1 minute. Aydan knocks it back down. Picked up. Lang shuffles it back over to Ricky. Lucas comes away with it. Opposite side over to Kobe. Aydan comes out of the goal. Team Philly adds a player, 40 seconds. Back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it over to the opposite side. Lucas on the forecheck. Back along the back wall. Doherty picks it up. Holds it up. Bobcats. Doc tries to shuffle it back. Goes all the way down. That'll be an icing call. Seconds left. Team Philly with a timeout. Back over. Oh my gosh. Barred against the wall. And that'll do it. After a hard-fought battle. Sorry for all the video problems, but Team Philly loses 4-3.